Welcome to the Explainer. You know that little green icon on your phone? The one that's basically replaced texting for, well, almost everyone? Today, we're diving into the story of WhatsApp. We're going to find out how it went from this super simple idea to connecting 3 billion people, and what's next for this giant. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's just start with a number. A really, really big number. 3 billion. Seriously, that's how many people use WhatsApp every single month. And if you're trying to picture that, just imagine the entire population of North and South America combined. Yeah, it's massive.
So you gotta ask, right? How in the world did one app manage to connect, well, almost half the planet? That's the big question we're tackling today. We're gonna trace its whole journey, from just a clever little idea all the way to a global communication powerhouse.
All right, let's rewind. Our story here starts, well, it doesn't start with some grand vision for a global network. Nope. It starts with a pretty clever pun and a really practical problem. So picture this. It's 2009. The App Store is brand new, and two ex-Yahoo guys, Brian Acton and Jan Koum, have an idea. But here's the thing you might not know. It wasn't a messaging app at first, not even close. Their original concept for WhatsApp, like What's Up, was just an app to show status updates next to your contacts. Stuff like, at the gym, or my battery is about to die. The whole messaging part, that actually came later. But once they tacked on that simple messaging feature, boom, things just exploded. In its first year, 2009, it hit 250,000 users. By 2011, the big-time venture capital firm Sequoia Capital noticed and threw in $8 million. But the really mind-blowing number? It's 2013. They have 400 million monthly users. And the whole thing is run by a tiny team of just 50 people. We're talking pure organic viral growth. And you know what was driving all this growth? A really powerful, almost anti-Silicon Valley philosophy. The founders were dead set on one thing: creating a pure, reliable, cheap way to communicate. Their motto was basically, no ads, no games, no gimmicks. Period. Their whole plan was to maybe charge just $1 a year, just enough to keep the lights on and keep it totally focused on you, the user. Okay, so you've got this incredible growth and this really strict no ads rule. Well, that whole philosophy was about to face its biggest test. And what happened next would become one of the most legendary deals in Silicon Valley history. So by early 2014, their user base is just screaming past 400 million people. And, well, when you get that big, certain people start to notice. WhatsApp got a call, and on the other end of the line was Facebook. And then came the bombshell. February 19th, 2014, Facebook announces it's buying WhatsApp for, get this, $19.3 billion. That is just a mind-boggling number. At the time, it was the biggest purchase of a venture capital-backed company ever. A total landmark deal. Now, this wasn't just a simple briefcase full of cash. Oh no, it was a mix. Some cash, a ton of Facebook stock, and special stock for the founders. And remember that early investor, Sequoia Capital? They made a staggering 5,000% return on their money. But the real impact of this deal went way beyond the money. It was a signal to the entire tech world. Suddenly, every single WhatsApp user was valued at almost $50. It proved, without a doubt, that mobile messaging was the future. So after Facebook takes over, you might think things would slow down. Nope. WhatsApp's growth didn't just continue, it shot into the stratosphere, now with all of Facebook's money and resources behind it. Just look at these numbers. The app goes from 900 million users in 2015 to 2 billion by 2020, and then smashes through the 3 billion mark by 2025. It more than tripled its user base in just a decade. It literally became the default way to talk for entire countries. And during that time, the app evolved way beyond just sending texts. It turned into a full-on communications hub for, well, everything. You've got HD photos and videos, massive group calls with up to 32 people, screen sharing for work stuff, and these amazing tools for managing huge groups like polls and communities. It just became indispensable. Like, how did we live without it?
But, and there's always a but, isn't there? With this insane scale and this new corporate parent, a huge conflict started brewing. A real tension between the app's original ideals and its new corporate reality. And this quote, wow, this really says it all. It's from co-founder Jan Koum right as he was walking out the door at Facebook in 2018. It just perfectly captures the huge fights he and Brian Acton were having with the new management over what to do with user data, about ads, about making money. That whole no ads, no gimmicks idea, it was now under serious, serious threat. Okay, so at the very center of this whole privacy debate is this one key piece of tech, end-to-end encryption. WhatsApp finished rolling this out back in 2016, and on paper, it's a fantastic promise. It means that, in theory, absolutely no one, not even WhatsApp, not even its parent company Meta, can read what's in your messages. Only you and the person you're sending it to. And this is where that central tension really comes into focus. On one hand, you have the promise, the content of your message is safe, but on the other hand, you have the problems, your metadata, and that's the data about your data, like who you talk to, when, and from where. That stuff is collected. Then you had that super controversial policy update in 2021 that tried to force data sharing with Meta. And get this, until late 2021, your cloud backups weren't even encrypted, which was basically a giant potential backdoor. And these weren't just theoretical problems, they had very real-world consequences. I mean, in 2019, there was a huge vulnerability that let hackers install spyware just by calling someone on WhatsApp. It was used to target journalists and activists. Then, in 2021, that new privacy policy caused a massive user revolt. And to top it all off, later that year, an FBI document came out showing just how fast WhatsApp could hand over user metadata to the cops, which really shattered that illusion of total privacy. So, where does the world's biggest messaging app go from here? I mean, you can't grow forever, right? In a lot of places, almost everyone who's going to use WhatsApp already is. So the focus has shifted. It's less about getting new users and more about adding new features and, the big one, finally figuring out how to make some serious money. So, WhatsApp is really changing. It's becoming so much more than just a messaging app. First, it's turning into a full-blown business and shopping platform where you can buy stuff directly from companies right in a chat. Second, it's integrating Meta's AI so you'll have this smart assistant right there with you. And third, it's being forced by new rules, like the big one in Europe, to actually open up and let you message people on other apps. And all this really gets to the core identity crisis for WhatsApp right now. You have these two competing versions of what the app is. On one side, you've got the founder's original vision, a simple, private, ad-free way for people to connect. And on the other side, you've got Meta's reality, a massive global platform that has to turn a profit, all while fighting off huge security threats and dealing with a spiderweb of privacy rules. Which, of course, brings us to the ultimate question for WhatsApp's future. Can one app really be both of these things at the same time? Can it be a private sanctuary for its users and a profitable marketplace for its owner? Can it serve billions of people who love it for its simplicity while also serving Meta's bottom line? That's the incredibly tricky tightrope it has to walk. When you think about it, the story of WhatsApp is really the story of the modern internet, just shrunk down. It's all there. The explosive growth, the record-shattering deal, and that constant, difficult balancing act between our privacy and a company's profit. It's a tightrope walk that defines so much of our digital lives. And it's one WhatsApp will be on for a long, long time. Thanks for joining this explainer.